Have you ever wondered what you would do if the one thing that gave your life meaning was suddenly taken away? What if the dream you built your entire identity on disappeared in a single moment? This is the story of Jack Morrison, a man who once flew higher than anyone, then fell harder than he ever imagined, and somehow found a way to rise again. In Jackson Hole, Wyoming, surrounded by wild mountains and endless sky, Jack Morrison was not just a climber. He was a legend. People called him the Eagle of the Tetons. He climbed faster, higher, smarter than anyone else. He didn't just follow routes, he created them. He had scaled the most dangerous faces of the Grand Teton. His photo had appeared on magazine covers. Even experienced climbers from Europe came just to climb with him. Jack didn't feel fear. He felt alive. Because for him, the mountains were not just something to conquer. They were who he was. But life has a way of changing everything when you least expect it. One morning, under a clear sky, Jack led another routine climb. Everything felt normal. The rope was secure. The path was familiar. He had done this hundreds of times. But sometimes, it only takes 1 second for everything to fall apart. A piece of rock suddenly broke loose. No warning. No time to react. The rope snapped tight and then failed. Jack fell 40 feet. In that moment, the sky disappeared, and the ground came rushing up. When he woke up in the hospital, everything was quiet. Too quiet. The doctor looked at him carefully and said, "You're lucky to be alive." Lucky? That word didn't feel right. Jack's spine was broken in 3 places. His right leg was shattered. He could barely move. The doctor continued, "Walking again will be difficult, but possible." Jack held on to that hope. Then came the final sentence. "You will never climb again." And just like that, the eagle lost his wings. The next 2 years felt like a slow collapse. Jack shut himself away from the world. He stopped answering calls. He stopped opening the door. He took down every photo of his climbs, every medal, every memory. He packed them all into boxes and pushed them into the garage. Out of sight, out of mind. But the pain didn't disappear. Every time he heard climbers passing outside his house, every laugh, every clinking piece of gear, it reminded him of who he used to be and who he would never be again. Sometimes, the hardest pain is not physical. It's the feeling of becoming a stranger to yourself. Jack stopped living. He was just existing. Day after day. With no purpose. No direction. No hope. Until one cold winter afternoon, there was a knock on his door. He ignored it. The knocking came again. Stronger this time. Annoyed, Jack opened the door. Standing there was a thin teenage boy, maybe 15 years old, shaking from the cold. "Jack Morrison," the boy said nervously. "My name is Ethan." Jack said nothing. "I want to learn climbing," Ethan continued. "I know you used to be the best." Used to be. Those words hit like a punch. "I can't pay you," Ethan added quickly. "But I can shovel your snow. I'll do any work. Just to teach me." Jack stared at him. He wanted to say no. He wanted to tell the boy to leave. But instead, he said something harsh. "You can barely do a pull-up. Why do you even want to climb?" Ethan's face turned red, but he didn't step back. "That's exactly why I need to learn." Jack froze. There was something in that answer. Something honest, something familiar. He closed the door without another word. But that night, he couldn't forget the boy. That's exactly why I need to learn. Sometimes, the courage of others reminds us of the strength we forgot we had. Winter passed, silently. But something inside Jack had changed. It was small, but it was real. When spring finally arrived, Jack did something he hadn't done in years. He picked up his crutches and walked back to the mountains. Ethan was there, waiting. Jack didn't say much. He tied the rope, checked the knots, and said, "Start climbing." Ethan grabbed the rock. His hands shook. His feet slipped. He looked scared. And suddenly, Jack saw something. He could still read the mountain. He could still see the best path. "Move your left foot higher," Jack called out. "Trust the rock. Slow down. Breathe." Ethan listened. Step by step, he climbed higher and higher, until finally he reached the top. "I did it!" Ethan shouted. And in that moment, Jack felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Not loss, not pain, but purpose. He realized something powerful. He might never climb again, but he could still help others climb. And sometimes, helping others rise lifts you even higher. That day changed everything. Jack came back again the next day. And the next. He trained Ethan. Then another kid joined. Then another. Most of them were not perfect. Some were angry. Some were lost. Some had nowhere else to go. But Jack didn't see their problems. He saw their potential. Because he had been broken too. He understood. And slowly, those kids started to change. They became stronger, more confident, more alive. Jack opened a small climbing school. Not for professionals, but for kids who needed a second chance. He still walked with a limp. He still couldn't climb. But every day, he stood at the bottom of the wall, looking up, guiding, encouraging, believing. And one evening, as the sun painted the mountains gold, a group of his students reached the top together. They stood there, arms wide open, shouting into the wind, "Free, fearless, alive." Jack watched them from below. Tears filled his eyes. Because in that moment, he understood something deeply. He had not lost everything. He had simply been redirected. Success is not always about what you achieve alone. It's about how many lives you touch along the way. Sometimes the greatest strength is patience. Sometimes the greatest victory is helping someone else win. And the moment you stop chasing who you used to be is the moment you begin to discover who you're meant to become. Jack lost his wings, but he gave wings to others. And in doing so, he flew higher than ever before. So if life has taken something from you, if you feel lost, broken, or unsure, remember this: your story is not over. It's just beginning in a new direction. And that direction might lead you somewhere greater than you ever imagined. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Because your breakthrough might be closer than you think.